Camera number 421 is a Polaroid SX-70 land camera model number 2. It's a camera I've been looking for some time and managed to get one some months ago, but unfortunately because the film is so difficult to source, I've not been able to use it until I discovered that I could actually use a 600 film cassette and do some little modifications, but more about that a bit later on. Let's just run through the camera. It's essentially a point and shoot camera, and normally its profile, it all flattens down to something like that. Excuse me. And to lift the camera up, pull the front up, then the back, concertinas, and that armature locks, and then we have a camera that's good to go, assuming there's film in it. The only controls you really have are on the front here. We have the shutter button, we have a focus button, which you can see the focus being used there. What's so nice about this camera is how close you can get. According to the ring around the lens there, 0.3 of a metre. Well, that's really close, as I'll demonstrate with one of the images I got from this camera. That's nice. And then we have another control, or the only other control we have is a lighten or darken. Effectively it's a exposure compensation dial, I suppose. So if you want more light or less light. There is I'm not quite sure what you call that, really, a port, I suppose, for flash cubes that can be placed there. And then that's really it as far as the camera goes. You look through the viewfinder here and you actually see what you're looking at, and then as you can focus while you're looking through the viewfinder, so you get real-time focusing, as it were. To put the cartridge, the film cartridge, into the camera, we have a yellow tab there which we push down. That releases the front portion of the camera, and then we have the area now that we can put our film in. So as I mentioned, the camera actually takes SX-70 film, which, as I say, is incredibly difficult to source, and if you can find it, invariably it's out of date. Polaroid seem to be holding back on producing new stock. So a little while ago I found somebody's video, and a number of websites were propounding the idea of actually using Polaroid 600 film. The cartridge is the same size, but the film inside the 600 film cartridge is actually faster than what would normally be in the camera. So there's the cartridge there. We have a blank plate that protects the film while it's outside the camera. And so as a result of using this film, it's going to be more sensitive, so I have to find a way of dialing back some of the lights. So the most obvious thing is to use the darken feature, but that's not quite enough. So my idea is to use a graduated filter, or a graduated filter around the lens. Probably about 2 or 3 stop should be enough, and see how we get on. So to put the film in, this is actually a live cartridge, but unfortunately it seems to have a problem. I don't seem to be able to get the cartridge to expel this top blank plate. I'll show you what I mean if we undo the door and put the film in, which we put in this way. And there's a tab at the front here, and then the film just literally pops in. And so the film cartridge actually contains the battery as well, so that powers the camera. And under normal circumstances, when you put a new cartridge in, by pressing the button, it should eject that blank plate, but for some reason this isn't working. So I'm not sure whether to pursue it or whether to try it in another camera. I could do that, but I did have a second film which I was able to put in the camera, and it did eject the cartridge. So what were the results? Well, I have to be honest, a little disappointed. The first image that came from the camera with the setup of having it on dark and putting a graduated filter in front, well, that was the result that I got from that. It was a very bright day and you can see it's rather washed out. Probably could be saved if I scanned the image and then did a bit of correction. But then the second image, which really exemplifies what I got, my experience, is very, very faded. Hardly see the image at all. And so very inconsistent results. So I used about half a cartridge. You only get 8 images from a cartridge. So I used about 4 and thought, well, I'll see what I can do when I get back home. When I got back home, the conditions were quite dark, and so I tried essentially no filter, and I just put it on dark, and I have to say that's the best result I got from the camera. I then moved the control dial here to about half, and this was the result of that. So as you can see, very inconsistent results. Now the images could be, as a result, the actual film cartridge. According to the box, the date expires 04/24, so that's almost a year ago. So whether the film really has gone past its sell-by date, I thought there might be some latitude, but clearly there isn't. So that's really results that I've got. Disappointed, but at the same time, the fact I got some images makes me think, well, maybe if I can get this cartridge that's in here to work, I'd be very inclined, since the film is more sensitive to light, to maybe use it indoors with the darken down button. So that would be interesting, I think. But anyway, that's my results. If you've had any similar results or have any feedback, please feel free to leave a message. I'd be very much appreciative of that. But in the meantime, the Polaroid SX-70 land camera model number 2 has been camera number 421.